Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford CDC, and today I'm going to be giving you my full review on the Kizer Drop Bear. This one here is using their clutch lock, which is their version of the axis lock. You can see it there, and what's cool about this is that underneath the scales there are some different positionings for the Omega spring, which allows this to have different kind of strength. Not necessarily detent strength, but somewhat with the detent that these have, so to speak, but more so for the opening and the closing, making that easier, and like I said, giving just a little bit more detent, but from what I've heard, not a massive difference. Now this here is the jungle fat carbon, I believe is the proper name for this. You can see it's got some black, some green, and some yellow running through it. These versions run $200, well $198 according to Blade HQ. And this is listing it as green gold fat carbon, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's jungle wear is the name. These are in 20 CV, though they do offer these in different blade steels. I know that they have a titanium and LC200N version out, which would make a really great knife, mostly because this is a good knife. You can see how ergos fit in my hand. I wear a large size glove, and I fit pretty much into this knife with no issues. I can move up a touch, down a touch, make it more of like a 3.5 finger knife, but it is a 4-finger grip for me, and this is very comfortable to do in a hammer grip like this. There's really no hot spots, and even in a saber grip you have this jimping right on the back of the spine, and this carries on for quite a way, almost all the way up to where the swedge starts, basically exactly where the swedge starts. You can see there's a very tiny gap right there where it's not jimped, but plenty of room to get your hand up on there and really get behind your cuts. Now this is done really well. Like I said, ergos are good. The detent, it's an axis lock. It's not gonna be amazing. There's only one knife with an axis lock I've ever handled that had like a wicked good detent, and that was an attention to detail mercantile knife. It was a Mark III bar lock, and those are like $750. So for $200, it's kind of hard to complain about this. Feels just as good as any Benchmade does. Just going to run you approximately the same price. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on the model, of course. Like I said, super comfy in hand. The fat carbon is not my favorite handle material, but it's not the only option with this knife. They have tons of different versions. This does have some texture to it. It's not totally smooth, where you can see there's some shiny parts and some matte parts. Those shiny parts are more smooth, but the matte parts have a little bit of texture to them. So, it's not totally slippery or anything like that, and it actuates nice and easy. This is on washers. You can see the action is really good. Just a little bit of encouragement to close, and it swings shut on its own, which is great. Reverse flicks nice, and you have a very tall grind on this, going probably 80% of the way up the blade, and then you have a swedge making it even thinner from this point forward, and the blade stock is already pretty thin, making this a really good cutter. The blade is 3 inches, and it has 0.12 inch stock. My bedroom door opened, and I don't know why or how, but we're gonna move on. Sorry for the pause there. But yeah, this I got plenty of use breaking down cardboard. You may hear some talking in the background now that the door's open, so I apologize for that. But this flew through cardboard with no issues and carries really nicely. This has a really nice pocket clip on it, which I will show you off a little bit here. It's like a milled version of a spring clip. It's got some heft to it. You can see how thick it is down here. And it's not a crappy spring clip. It's really well done, and it's really radiused all around and really nicely rounded, soft edges, and that helps make this so comfortable in the hand. I think that's a major thing that that people might not touch on when they talk about this, but I think it's super important to how the ergos work on this knife, especially for somebody with larger hands. There's no hot spotting in my fat palms here, which is great. Overall, I mean, it's a really good knife. I haven't checked out anything from Kizer in quite some time, so getting a chance to look at this has been really awesome, and I could absolutely recommend this. I think if you're going to get one, the LC200N version is a really neat version to get, just because of the rust-proof nature of the steel. But if you want just a typical everyday carry kind of knife, can't really beat 20 CV, and tons of handle options as well. So like I said, you're not stuck with this blacked out version here with the fat carbon if that's not your jam. The one tiny little nitpick I have about this knife that I really don't enjoy is that the liners, or it's like a shadow boxed, you can't really tell looking at it, but the liners do sit proud of the scales here, and that's all the way around. It's on the inner edge, both sides. So I would prefer if they were even, or even if the liners were recessed, making this a little bit thinner. As it stands, it's not a very thick knife, but it certainly could be thinner. You can see just how thick those scales are, and the thickness could remain the same if they were pocketed and the liners sat inside and they didn't sit proud of the scales. But that's my only nitpick. It's more of a design thing. Really doesn't affect comfortability or anything like that because the edges are nicely rounded, but you do feel it in areas like this. And on the back here, you're clearly moving along metal, not the fat carbon or whatever other handle material you happen to have on your model. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys there. Super quick overview of this guy. Great cutter, nice thin grind. This is a flat grind, I do believe. Yeah, flat grind. So cuts really nicely. Overall, really well done. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Now the dogs are going crazy outside. This is lovely. What a way to end the video. Thanks for watching. Enjoy, guys. Take care.